Contested at 140 pounds, 63.5 kilos, or 10 stone even. Introducing up first to the stage, fighting out of Garin, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He's the former WBO Latino super lightweight champion, 21-3, 9 knockouts, El Correntino, Herman Argentino Benitez. And his opponent now coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, professional record, an excellent one. 17-1, 11 knockouts, fighting out of and proudly representing Forest Hall, Newcastle. The former British lightweight champion, the Sandman, Lewis Ritson.
Well, without doubt, one of the most likeable men in boxing. He was on such a huge kind of hype train last year at 135 pounds, walked through Paul Highland Jr., Robbie Barrett, and Scotty Cardle, and then just came unstuck against the slick back foot boxer Francesco Patera, who, again, another one that we just didn't give enough credit for going in and exposed a few flaws in Lewis Ritson.
Absolutely, and what, you know, if I can take anything, I'm quite happy in the sense that it shows the worth of the European title, how hard it is to win a European title. But it'll come back, no doubt, and this is a great opportunity to do so.
Well, his record may have taken a dent, but his popularity definitely won't have. It'd be good to see what he's made of at 140 pounds.
13 pounds, 7 ounces for Lewis
Definitely
Ritson.
looking a little fleshier, a little fuller, and maybe feeling a bit better too.
Do you know what? Looking healthier. You know, looking healthy on the scales, and it's so important because it's so worrying when you see a fighter on a Friday, the day before the fight, looking, you know, like a bag of bones, no energy in them at all, and you're thinking tomorrow you're having to do 12 rounds. But there he looks healthy, doesn't he? You know, he looks happy, and I think it was the right move. And yeah, like you said before, he's honestly one of the most likeable characters, Lewis Ritson. Such a lovely guy, isn't he?
Well, I guess, and also fighters are associated with cities and football clubs. He's got such a great fan base in Newcastle. He's bringing back the big fight nights there, and there was such a buzz around him. And it would just be lovely that, you know, to think we would have another one or two of those maybe in the next 18 months.
Look, forget about that defeat. He has the style and the potential to still bang out St James's Park. There's no reason, you know. Newcastle will come out to support him. I have no doubt about it. He only needs a couple more wins, and he can put himself back in the mix.
Intercontinental Super Lightweight Championship Matchroom Boxing Saturday night at the Copper Box Arena here in London, England.
I'll tell you something else. Benitez's dad has been floating around the hotel. He's always got the Argentina shirt on. He's a dead ringer. Like, if you ever needed to hire a Diego Maradona,
I was going to say that yesterday.
For a birthday
yesterday,
party,
he was a ringer. I nearly said to you yesterday, I went, look at that, it's like a moody Maradona.
That's amazing. And if you ever need a Darren Barker lookalike for a party, I know a guy who does 50 quid an hour, looks just like him as well.
You know Brad Pitt?
Off you go, off you go. You're officially sacked.
Gentlemen, we are set to win our next bout for the evening tomorrow night. It'll be 4 rounds in the Bantamweight division, contested at 118 pounds, 53.5 kilos, or 8 stone, 6 pounds. Introducing up first, she is fighting out of Bucharest, Romania, representing Budapest Boxing, 1-0, 1 draw, Christina Busia.
Do you know the worst thing is you stole that joke off me and then you passed it off as your own on live.
Oh, shut it. There's only one Pitt here. I'm Brad Pitt, you're on Pitt.
Your much anticipated professional debut. The 57-kilo Harringay Box Cup champion and Southern Area champion, fighting out of Watford, ladies and gentlemen, the baby-faced assassin, Shannon Courtney.
First time I watched Shannon Courtney box was at the 2015 Harringay Box Cup, commentated on that with John Denham. We did a 7-hour broadcast. Really? Yeah, we saw Shannon as part of that, and she showed her talent even then. She'd only been boxing for about a year at that point. As her opponent, Christina Busoic from Romania. 4-on-1.
8 stone, 8 pounds, 7 ounces for Busiak. 887 for Busiak.
Using the 4-on-1, Christina Garobo took 2 points on her debut, and they boxed to a draw. And now Shannon Courtney making her way onto the scales.
Stepping on the scale for the first time in the paid ranks, please welcome Shannon Courtney.
Plenty of big fights out there for Darren. I mean, if you're going up a little bit, a super bantamweight, Dina Thorsen from Denmark, one of the Sauerland fighters, is 13-0, the WBO champ. Fatuma Zarika from Kenya.
5 ounces for Courtney. 885 for the baby-faced assassin, Shannon Courtney.
And then, of course, people like Amanda Serrano, as we said earlier, 7-division world champion that goes up and down. There are plenty of opportunities out there for her, but we need to see what she's made of in the pro game. She'll be moved relatively quickly. They want to get around 2 or 3 times, maybe in the next 6 months. And I guess she, knowing all the hard work she's put in Boo's gym, and she's been really grafting for the last 12 months, she will want to get out as regularly as possible to build her record and start to get recognised.
Yeah, I said it yesterday, you know, being match fit is so important. You hear it in football all the time, you know, about being match fit, and in boxing it's so important. And yeah, she'll want to get out as often as possible. And it, you know, it really does help with your timing, your distance, etc. And yeah, I'm excited to see her in action. She's a good amateur, good pedigree, and like I said, a very good story, and we love that in boxing.
We certainly do. So 3-0 to go by my reckoning. Josh Buatsi, Lawrence Okoli, and then the main events. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll of course be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock live from the Copper Box for Before the Bell.
Busiak and Courtney.
So Shannon Courtney and Busiak there doing battle tomorrow night at the Copper Box. We'll be there tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I like the Copper Box as a venue. It was good last time. Ryder Sorokin. Of course, the news this week that he's going to be boxing David Lemieux on the Canelo Jacobs undercard as well. Doesn't seem all that long ago that he was boxing in that eliminator. Big opportunity for him.
Well, no, I tell you, he's
for the British and Commonwealth Championships. Introducing up first,
he's been around for a long, long time, John Ryder.
He's a southpaw, 21-7, 12 knockouts. He's the reigning and defending Commonwealth Cruiserweight champion, fighting out of Canning Town, Wadi Camacho.
Yeah, just quickly there, sorry mate. Yeah, he's been around a long time, right? I'm so glad he's got his opportunity on such a big bill.
He's with his head trainer, Barry Robinson. He's a 2016 Olympian. He's got a perfect professional record, 11-0, 8 knockouts. He's the former Commonwealth and the reigning WBA Continental and reigning British champion, fighting out of Hackney, the Sauce, Lawrence Okoli.
Well, I guess we've seen shades of what Barry Robinson's trying to work on with Lawrence Okoli in the last few months since he switched over. He's an American-based trainer, kind of tactician and tactical specialist, but we haven't really seen the full works now. It's going to take a few fights maybe for us to see if it's a partnership that's going to work. Wadi Camacho, last win out over Arthur Iqbal, revenge after that TKO defeat in 2017, looking in really, really good shape. And well, this is kind of a last roll of the dice for him, you would think, at this level. If he can get past Okoli, huge win for him.
In all fairness, I think if Camacho was to lose this one, you'd have to seriously think about retirement. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He's just had a long career. He's I think his career highlight, obviously winning the Commonwealth title, and he probably won more than he thought he would, if I'm honest. But yeah, honestly, I think that's the best Camacho's ever looked on the scales. He looks in great shape there.
Man, always looking in good condition. Lawrence Okoli, 6'5". He sparred with the best of the best in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury, hundreds of rounds with Anthony Joshua, and a little sparring video we released last week of him and Dylan White after they had a bit of back and forth. Don't think anything really is going to come of that, although Dylan White will be there tomorrow night. And, well, he's not a man that likes to just sort of negotiate quietly.
I don't think that will happen, if I'm honest. I think Dylan White's on his path to heavyweight glory. You know, he's chasing that. And there was a bit, I don't know if you see it yesterday at the press conference, there was a bit of needle with his brother. So I
thought his brother actually dealt with it very, very well.
Yeah, well, I thought it was all going to go off, and it didn't. It was quite controlled, but it was a little bit touchy at minutes. You thought, hold on, this is going to go off here, but it didn't.
I think it's quite interesting the way social media changes the game of boxing that we watch. I guess in your day, you could, after a performance, go on, you know, look at the trade paper at the weekend. There was little bits of articles maybe online, but nothing like it is now. You can go on the Court of Public Opinion on Twitter and instantly see what 500 people thought of your performance. It's very different.
Yeah, it is. You know, it can be good and it can be bad. You know, you've got to be a tough individual these days. Take it as a pinch of salt, or it can drive you mad.
He's very calm, Lawrence Okoli. He's actually a nice guy outside the ring. I think sometimes people mistake his kind of calmness and confidence for arrogance, and he's certainly a confident guy, but he's a nice guy too. He's just confident in his own abilities, a lot of belief. Doesn't doubt himself for a second, doesn't matter what the opponent. They're the two of them. Will we get a little bit of needle in this one? Camacho, I think he's taller than certainly I'd remembered. He's got trainers on. Cody is flat-footed.
They're probably bang on there.
Saturday night, Copper Box Arena, Matchroom Boxing, Sky Sports, and Dazn.
Still busy in here, isn't it? Quite a few people. I like these weigh-ins now. They're occasions, aren't they? Yeah, it's changed so much. Where it used to be, you know, just for formality. You've got to get on the scales, you've got to make the weight. Now it's an occasion. Everyone comes out, it's banged out here.
Yeah, in your day, was it like this?
Yeah, I mean, not so much in the bigger fights, but I mean, when I was fighting with a British title and that, it was a European title. Yeah, there was no one there, just my family, and that was it.
WBC Youth Silver and English Light Heavyweight Champion from Barrow-in-Furness. The first charge to ever fight for a British title from that area, Liam Conroy.
Absolute credit to Liam Conroy for stepping up to the plate when a number of fighters have been offered Joshua Buatsi with good deals over the last 6 months, and nobody has said yes, but he didn't hesitate whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. Look, he was saying how desperate he wants to win a British title, and look, if it means fighting one of the best in the world, one of the best products in the world, then so be it.
The WBA International Light Heavyweight Champion, fighting out of Croydon, Joshua Buatsi.
Well, the only formality that remains is the haircut and the beard trim, and he'll be ready to go tomorrow night. He's been sparring hard all over the country, wherever he can get good sparring against some of the country's top amateurs, top professionals too. It's the oldest cliche in boxing, but there's no stone unturned. He's absolutely meticulous with his preparation, Buatsi.
The charge from Barrow-in-Furness, Liam Conroy.
Conroy's been up sparring in Jamie Moore's gym with Stephen Ward, the Irish fighter. Stablemate of Carl Frampton, Tommy Coyle, who
12 stone 5 pounds at 9 ounces, 12.59 for Conroy.
Looking to get out on the Anthony Joshua undercard at the beginning of June.
Here he is, the undefeated Joshua Buatsi.
Well, as always, looking strong, lean at the weight. 173.7, perfect.
Yeah. It's in great shape. You wouldn't say he's the biggest light heavyweight in the world, would you? But blimey, he can whack.
12.57.
Deceptive though, when you meet him in real life, he doesn't look big there, but he's
solid.
Yeah,
solid.
He's a big guy.
So you saying there? Sorry, just rewinding a little bit when you said, you know, fighters, you know, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. You know, his preparation spot on, meticulous. I find it fascinating that some fighters don't train properly. Because let me tell you now, that ring is the loneliest place in the world if you're not fit. Having to go 12 rounds unprepared is frightening, and it just surprises me. There's so many fighters out there that, you know, don't put in the work. It's incredible, but yeah, like you say, Buatsi certainly does.
British Light Heavyweight Championship.
Well, the winner goes on to bigger things. You feel there are some decent tests of light heavyweight out there. Andre Sterling after that big win over Ricky Summers. Greg Richards, of course, beating Jake Paul. There are some nice tests out there. I mean, listen, Buatsi's obviously a huge favourite in this one. His trainer says he'd like to see him win it outright, get a couple of defences under his belt before maybe moving up to European level. Provided those fights are competitive, I don't think anyone would have a problem with an Andre Sterling fight or a Craig Richards fight in the next 6 months.
No, absolutely not. He's got options. You know, what route do you go down? Do you keep it domestic? Do you go down the European route? Do you go down the ranking titles like we were saying yesterday? You know, there's different avenues. Well, I guess there's 3 different paths you can go down, 3 different routes, and it's up to him what he wants to do.
WBA Super Championship is held by Dimitri Bivol. Rumours that he might go down to, excuse me, 168 pound. Looked good against Joe Smith Jr., who's a big puncher. Was wobbled a couple of times in that fight, and I think when you look at someone like him on the scales, you could definitely see he could go down a few pounds and make super middle, which again would leave the WBA route vacant and up for grabs. And listen, he's got the WBA Intercontinental belt as it is. That may be a route for him.
Yeah, but I'd love to see that fight though.
No, so
I want to see Buatsi Bivol. I don't want him to move down.
No.
But yeah, there's options. Like I say, when you're that talented, you're not restricted to a certain title, a certain route. He can do what he wants.
Winter Garden at Canary Wharf, London, England. for the official weigh-in for Saturday night's huge night of boxing action taking place at the Copper Box Arena. It's all brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, and JD Sports. It'll be broadcast live around the world, exclusively in the UK on Sky Sports, and exclusively in the United States on Dazn. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to weigh in the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBC Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing up first to the stage, the challenger. He's fighting out of Argentina. He's fighting out of Spain, the Golden Boy, Angel Moreno.
Second Maravilla box fighter under Sergio Martinez's stable to cause a big upset in London. Ted Cheeseman perhaps a little bit out of his depth against Sergio Garcia on the first big fight night of the year. We think and we hope Charlie Edwards won't fall into that kind of trap. He's at a different level of his career, different stage. And we think this man should be victorious and move on potentially to big unification fights later on this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he loves boxing. He absolutely loves the sport, and he's so proud to be a world champion. He wants to defend that title, and he wants to go on and win more world titles. So, yeah, I'm proud of Charlie, everything he's been through, and
now making his way to the scales,
to get that world title was fantastic.
6 knockouts, the former European WBA Continental WBO Latino Flyweight Champion, the Golden Boy, Angel Moreno.
Well, he's a different prospect to Sergio Garcia. He's a roughhouse, aggressive fighter, a little bit awkward at times as well. But, well, you can tell there he's absolutely prepared.
7 stone, 13 pounds, 4 ounces for Moreno. 7-13-4.
Absolute belief from him at the press conference yesterday. And also, he's going to look to rough Charlie Edwards up because we know Edwards likes to box at distance, likes to keep things long.
Defending WBC Flyweight Champion of the World, fighting out of Croydon, Charlie Edwards.
Says a lot about champions' mentality. You know, for some fighters, this is their peak, winning a world title, and that's what they aspire to. For him, he said this is just the beginning.
Yeah, well, I'm the perfect example of that. You know, I won a world title and I was deflated, and that was enough, really. But with Charlie, he's got, you know, ambitions to go on, and like I say, not only defend it, but win more world titles. Like Eddie touched on it yesterday, how great must it be to see 1/1, you're #1 in your division, you're the #1 fighter at your weight. It must be great, but then you want to go on and you want to, I guess, do what sort of Callum Smith's doing at super middleweight. You know, win the Ring magazine belt. You know, really stamp your legacy, make your legacy, secure it, and yeah, I think Charlie's desperate to do that.
Of course, HBO closing last year meant that Tom Loeffler had to secure network deals for some of his other fighters. Take Triple G over to DAZN. I think Rungasai and Estrada's on there in April as well. Those guys at super flyweight are potentially an option for him if he doesn't fancy carrying on a flyweight and unifying, but provided he doesn't have to vacate. We may see him go up and challenge the likes of Cal Yafai, the WBA holder, Rungasai or Estrada, whoever wins that. Some big fights for him in super flyweight too.
Look, when you've won a world title and you've established yourself in the pro ranks as an elite level fighter, which he is now, being the #1 in the division, you've got real options. You can go up, you know, no problem.
12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Flyweight Championship of the World. The main event Saturday night, the Copper Box Arena, Matchroom Boxing, Sky Sports, and DAZN.
Well, and Eddie wasn't wrong about that Spanish support, was he? They've come out in some good numbers, and they will be in great voice at a brilliant venue at the Copper Box tomorrow night. And nobody's going to break away from this one.
This bout in association with Maravilla Box, sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control and the WBC.
It's been respectful, the build-up. They'll be putting that aside for 12 rounds for the WBC Flyweight Championship of the World tomorrow night live on Sky Sports. Charlie Edwards there will go. He'll refuel, get some rest tonight, and it's go time tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the lighter weights, the weigh-in is so good to get out of the way. I mean, honestly, you know, I know he has to lose a fair bit is hard getting down to the weight, and this is one box tick now. You go in there, he's prepared properly. We've spoken to him and his trainer Grant, and he's in fantastic shape. So yeah, I'm expecting a good fight. I think Charlie will wear him down. That's my guess on this one. I think it'll get to him a bit later on, but I think when it starts, it'll be very interesting.
Good man. Well, should we go and refuel as
yes,
well then?
Let's do that, mate.
Excellent. Love to see you, Darren. Thanks for your company as well on Match and Boxing social media. We will be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow live from the Copper Box. We'll give you a full preview of the action, the odds, and everything in between. Remember, it all starts live on Sky Sports tomorrow night from the Copper Box in the Olympic Park in Stratford. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again tomorrow.